and a diamond ring. My love is worth more than material things. You say you're always on the grind. I'm on the grind trying to get your time. For living good, you took me out the hood, but you ain't giving me no room. You keep me laced in the finest clothes. Just make sure I come before those hoes.
Gangsta Brazil. Gangsta Brazil.
I'm riding in my Chevy like I'm about to pick 'em in a minute. About to put them crystal leaves in the wind. It's on me heavy. I said my shot about to cut me loose. Can the player do the call of truth? Cause I'm living fast, steady on the grind. I hustle and I grind. Just like sticking all my time. Be on the edge of borderline. Shout is dripping at stress. Think I'm all upon the flex. Keep her in the business. Think another girl sexy. Just on my ring, baby girl. Can't alleviate pain that's in the world. My love for you will never die. Never die. But I gotta maintain the street high. Hey, I got you all the ice you need. Cars in the house, but you wanna leave. I guess love has no cost in us. I gotta take it dance now. We got bread and we living good like humps to bones. But it ain't making living comfortable. Yeah, my grind taking my time from me shouting. Yeah, you're hard, I can't treat it like a we got bread and we living good like humps to bones. But it ain't making living comfortable. Yeah, my grind taking my time from me shouting. Yeah, you're hard, I can't treat it like I'm out it. What's the matter, shouting? I thought you wanted all this platinum on the platter, shouting. No matter how I climb, I'm falling off the ladder, shouting. You got your Gucci suits and Prada fitness. Don't you can buy the BCGB and Burberry kicks. I'm busting my ass to help you live good while making cakes in the hood. If the hustle's how you met me, then the hustle's how you leave. I'm stressing cause you stressing about to blow a bag of trees. But when you leave me, girl, it's still gonna be the same scenario. Unless you leave this country time, someone fall like Jericho. If I was lazy broke, it'd probably still be the same with you. I know what all you want, but buddy can't hang with you. Cause I gotta get more money, more shout it. I'm looking at the front door, shout it. The hustle is my nature. I got no time to hate you. Gotta bet my money, hit me on my page. Girl, we got bread every living good like humps to bones. But it ain't making living comfortable. Yeah, grind taking my time from me shouting. Yeah, you're hard, I can't treat it like a we got bread every living good like humps to bones. But it ain't making living comfortable. Yeah, grind taking my time from me hard, I can't treat it like hell. Now you mad and you wanna leave me. Instead of asking how many tricks up my sleeve. And your best friends got you thinking about better things. Feeling like I'm out of range and I gotta change. And like, what do you change? How I get somebody close to me? Hoping you mold my job into a precious. These streets got me more addicted like cigarettes. More cheddar can't make you commit, but you never asked for any funds on no Fendi fit. Plus you got eyes like my mama, the same eyes that strengthen my soul. And so I ponder on things to do. I got money to make. I want you living like the Queen Zamunda. Straight expressing myself. Let me keep shit inside your thighs. But whoever said you need drugs to get high, please don't treat the situation like the money can wait. Cause I don't think living like I used to. My faith. We got bread every living good like humps to bones. But it ain't making living comfortable. Yeah, my grind taking my time from me shouting. Yeah, you're hard, I can't treat it like a we got bread every living good like humps to bones. But it ain't making living comfortable. Yeah, my grind taking my time from me shouting. Yeah, you're hard, I can't treat it like I'm out it.
I want you. I got to have you. But what was this?
Yeah. Salute to everybody tuning in, man. Welcome to the show, man. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. You understand? Get it on. Charlie Kirk. So many people have so many different opinions about this guy. We did a few shows. Well, a show or two or whatever. And this guy was a blatant racist. But let's go to Fox. Let's go to Fox 10, Phoenix timeline, Charlie Kirk's death and aftermath.
Fox 10 News Alert, political activist and founder of Phoenix-based Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, has been shot at an event at the Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah.
Right now, details are very limited, but bystanders report seeing Kirk shot right near his neck during a Q&A with students. Reports also say that the campus is currently on lockdown. Kirk's condition currently unknown.
So, of course, this is a developing story. We are continuing to get new information by the minute. So as soon as we have new details throughout this noon hour, we, of course, will keep you updated on this story. But again, Charlie Kirk shot at an event in Utah. His condition still unknown at this hour.
I'm Ellen McNamara, and reaction to the death of Charlie Kirk has been just pouring in, especially on social media. Many writing on social media today as news spread. Now, we did tell you that President Trump broke the news that Kirk had died today, and he wrote in accepted, writing in part there. And Senator Ruben Gallego also kind of echoing some of the sentiments, some of the statements that we've also gotten as well, writing, "This is beyond terrible. Charlie Kirk was a husband, father, and son." We will continue to track reaction to Charlie Kirk's death. Really, it's coming in from around the world, and we, of course, bring that to you. These statements also up online at fox10phoenix.com. John, back to you.
Ellen, thanks. Be sure to stick with Fox 10, both on air and online. Continuing coverage of Charlie Kirk's murder in Utah today. We will have much more coverage ahead at 5:30 and at 6 as well. We're back in a moment. Reaction pouring in following the assassination of conservative activist and Valley resident Charlie Kirk.
He was shot and killed while speaking at an event on campus in Utah today. The suspect is still at large. Kirk was an activist, author, media personality. He's known for founding Turning Point USA in 2012, the nonprofit based here in downtown Phoenix. It's widely considered the nation's preeminent youth conservative organization. Kirk was 31 years old, married, the father of 2 young children.
He was a close ally of President Trump, a key player in Mr. Trump winning the election last year, galvanizing young voters. Tonight, officials are calling the attack a political assassination.
I believe this was a targeted attack towards one individual. This is a tragic moment in our state and in our country.
Kirk was hosting a rally at Utah Valley University, that is in Orem, which is north of Provo. The outdoor event was taking place, and it was on campus.
All right, here's an update on the Charlie Kirk situation. Salute to everybody tuning in. Hit that like button, that share button, that subscribe, follow button, add button, whatever social site you're on. Right now, we're going to deep dive on Charlie Kirk. We're going to get into an even deeper topic once this plays. Enjoy the show. This is Fox 10 Phoenix.
There, when investigators say a single shot was fired from a top nearby building. Officials say the shot was fired just after the noon hour. Kirk was struck in the neck, a fatal wound, while he was speaking to the crowd. He was rushed to the hospital. But before 2 p.m., President Trump posted on Truth Social confirming that Charlie Kirk had died. And just in the past few hours, the president also posted a video message about Kirk's death.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror.
The event had been going on for only about 20 minutes or so when Kirk was shot. A live stream from Utah Valley University shows the moments of chaos that followed. Take a look. This was the first stop on what was supposed to be Kirk's American comeback tour. The university says there were more than 3,000 people there.
Utah Valley University police say 6 officers were at that event doing security. Police chief there saying that officers had coordinated with Kirk's personal security team, and there were some plainclothes officers also in the crowd. Students who attended say that they saw no metal detectors, there were no bag checks. Kirk's events have typically been held in public spaces of college campuses.
Moments following the assassination, law enforcement swarmed the campus, officers moving from building to search for a shooter. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi said both FBI and ATF were on the scene, but still the suspect is not in custody tonight. 2 persons of interest were briefly detained and then let go. Now the FBI has created an online form where the public can report information about the shooting.
I know there's a lot of questions. This is very much an active case, and this investigation is in its early stages. We are following all the leads and all the evidence. If anyone has any information, please report it to the FBI or local law enforcement.
Memorials have been growing all day in multiple spots around the valley. Sky Fox flew over vigils in Gilbert and Scottsdale tonight.
And we have full team coverage tonight of the reaction that is pouring in and has been all day. In just moments, we'll hear from Brian Webb tonight, hearing from a witness who was at the rally in Utah.
But first, let's check in with our Lindsay Regis, joining us live from Turning Point's downtown headquarters tonight. That has got to be a somber place.
Yeah, John and Christina, it has been a very emotional night out here. Several people filing in and out to pay their respects. Now I want to show you these signs that were put up just a few hours ago, and already flowers, candles, balloons, and flags surround it.
Charlie Kirk was a prominent voice to young conservative voters.
I first saw his clips on Instagram, and his message and what he was teaching really stood out to me and told me it's okay to be who I am.
He meant a lot, not just to me, but to my generation, to the younger generation, to the younger generation starting to get into politics and starting to vote.
Kirk would hold discussions on college campuses, taking questions from everyone, no matter their political views.
Obviously, you can tell that he was killed for it. So the fact that he spoke up when others don't feel like they can, so this is the way of silencing that voice, and it's just not right.
He took everyone's opinions.
Charlie's message was all about faith and belief and patriotism.
On Wednesday, he was shot while speaking to a large audience at Utah Valley University. His death was announced shortly after, shocking a large community who supported him.
He has 2 kids. He has a family. He has a wife. And it's hard because he was the best person I've spoken for youth activism.
Just broken, heartbroken.
Clearly, this guy had influence. I'm surprised that it got to be as big as it was, but that just goes to show how desperate for acceptance a lot of people are at this point in life. We're going to dig deeper into Charlie Kirk.
In shock, disbelief.
I just couldn't imagine that actually happening in this world now.
It's really hard. It's not something you imagine you're going to deal with on any given day, no matter who it is.
I was in shock initially. I couldn't believe what had happened. I wanted to know if he was okay.
Turning Point USA posted a statement on X that reads in part, "It is with a heavy heart that we confirm that Charles James Kirk has been murdered by a gunshot that took place during Turning Point USA's The American Comeback Tour campus event at Utah Valley University on September 10th, 2025. We ask that everyone keep his family and loved ones in your prayers."
For anyone who plans to come by, just to let you know, the street has been blocked off by police, but you can park at the end of the street and walk over.
One of them was the high school chapter president of Turning Point USA and met Kirk several times. The other one went to go meet Charlie Kirk today for the very first time and was just a few feet away when Kirk was killed.
Honestly, my first impression was someone has thrown a firecracker or played a joke to disrupt the event.
Michael is a college student in Utah and went to today's event to ask Charlie Kirk a question on faith. Then he heard a single gunshot standing only 10 feet away.
People were anticipating a second gunshot and were hesitant to move until there was a second shot. But after 20, 30 seconds went by without a second gunshot, people kind of bolted for the exits.
Aside from politics, you have a family man and you have a man who has 2 children and a wife. So it's shocking. I mean, I think it's definitely just a shock for the whole country and for the whole world.
Jaden is the former Turning Point chapter president at Cactus Shadows High School here in the Valley, drawn to the movement for more than politics, but also faith and light.
There was always a light about him, just like an ease when you talked to him. He just seemed like he genuinely cared and he genuinely just loved on people.
Both young men were drawn to Charlie Kirk, the man and the message, but are now left with the emotional scars that political violence has touched their lives too.
It's finally me. Like, I am finally experiencing I'm a victim of gun violence in a way.
The thing that brings me comfort the most is that I know that he was an avid follower of Christ. I know that his walk with God was he seemed like he had a very strong relationship with God. So I'm very comfortable with the fact that if he has passed on to the next life, that he will be just fine.
Turning Point chapters across the country boast some 250,000 students, including here at ASU. And Kirk's Get Out the Vote campaign in 2024 is credited with helping Donald Trump win the election. Live at ASU, I'm Brian Webb, Fox 10 News.
Brian, thanks. Tonight, reaction from Arizona political leaders on the death of Charlie Kirk.
Governor Katie Hobbs said, quote, "I'm saddened for Charlie's family, friends, and Arizonans as they mourn his loss. And I'm saddened for our country as our politics have descended into horrific violence. This tragedy is not about who Charlie Kirk supported politically. It's about the devastating loss of a father, a neighbor, and an Arizonan who called this state home and whose life was cut short by senseless violence, end quote.
Congressman Abe Hamadeh, Republican, releasing a statement today saying in part, Charlie Kirk was a force to be reckoned with. He was a happy warrior for the conservative cause. He was martyred doing what he did best, talking to young people and sharing ideas. He went on to urge everyone to pray for his family.
Meantime, former Arizona Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, a survivor of political violence, said, quote, "The murder of Charlie Kirk breaks my heart. My deepest sympathies are with his wife, 2 young children, and friends. Attacks against political or ideological opponents are cowardly and un-American and must be universally condemned."
Air Force Two landed at Sky Harbor Airport tonight just before 5 o'clock.
Vice President J.D. Vance escorting Charlie Kirk's casket back to the Valley along with his family. This is where he lived with his wife and 2 children in the Phoenix area. There's also, it's home to the national headquarters of Turning Point, his nonprofit Turning Point USA. A large group of supporters and mourners gathered in the Valley today, showing their support for the Kirk family.
Leaving from Sky Harbor, a white hearse carrying Kirk's casket to Hanson Mortuary off 7th Street and Northern, escorted by law enforcement. President Trump saying that he expects that funeral to happen next weekend here in the Valley, and he will attend.
Going to go to Charlie Kirk's funeral, sir?
I will be.
You will. Do you know when that will be?
I believe it's in Arizona, and they've asked me to go, and I think I have an obligation to do it.
Do you know when that will be?
I'm hearing I hear next weekend. Whenever it is, I'll be going. I'm hearing next weekend.
Charlie Kirk was instrumental in Donald Trump's election in 2024. Fox 10 was at Sky Harbor tonight live as Air Force Two landed in Phoenix this evening.
And Vice President J.D. Vance was there, as well as the second lady. And
Okay, me just hearing that, and I've been hearing that for the past week or so, how influential he was in his campaign. And I'm telling you guys, I've never heard of the guy. I don't remember seeing him. Maybe if I saw that, or if I knew this was like the real mastermind behind the Trump election or whatnot, I would have thought twice about the vote. As far as I'm concerned at this point, J.D. Vance and this Charlie Kirk dude are definitely undercover racing. Going to be showing more detail. We're going to get more expert opinion from elders and such to join the show and basically give a roll call on what's been going on with this whole thing. This could be a huge cover up. I personally feel that it's more of a scripted deal. Being that, you know, how thirsty these people are, you know, for this attention. So I wouldn't be surprised if Charlie Kirk set this whole thing up. You know, I just wouldn't be surprised. It's a lot to talk about. We're going to dig into it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, hit that add button.
Kirk's wife, Erica, Kirk's children, ages 3 and 1. Fox 10's Lindsay Regis also there as they exited the plane, and she's live tonight with more.
John and Ellen, there was silence at the airport when Air Force Two landed. Several people came out to show their support and watch Charlie Kirk come home.
I just think it's a very sad day for our country. It's just hard to believe.
It has been a horrific 24 hours.
As Air Force Two touched down in Phoenix, phones were raised high to capture the moment.
To show respects and pay tribute.
Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, was seen walking off the plane holding hands with Second Lady Usha Vance. Vice President J.D. Vance followed right behind them. Shortly after, Charlie Kirk's casket was carried out of Air Force Two.
It's very emotional. I mean, it hit everyone very hard that I knew that what happened, and it's just very sad. It's a tragedy for this country, as he was a leader and one who was not afraid to speak out about issues that were important to conservatives.
You don't even have to be a supporter of him, right? Regardless of how you feel about him, he doesn't deserve what happened. And I think it's sad that now in the future,
All right, up until we get everything together, subscribe to Center Runner Television. This is my own content. I will be playing it. These are some Charlie Kirk's rhetoric. Charlie Kirk has some good points, but he has some horrible ones too. And we're going to get into a lot of his points and views so we can really see the ins and outs of who he was, of the words that came out his mouth. I've listened to him just today. I never heard of him before today. Never heard of this guy before today. I've never heard of Charlie Kirk before today. Ever. But I was wondering why people were so glad he got assassinated. Because I started to see, as soon as it happened, it was a lot of people going, I wanted to know, why were they so happy this guy was murdered by a 5+ man hit team? We're going to get into it.
Well, Charlie Kirk, fucking stoked right now. You want to know why I'm so fucking stoked?
He's stoked.
Go ahead and Google Charlie Kirk. Go ahead, read the latest headlines, and you'll see why I'm so fucking You fucking stoked right now. You want to know why I'm so fucking stoked? Go ahead and Google Charlie Kirk. Go ahead, read the latest headlines, and you'll see why I'm so fucking You fucking stoked right now. You want to know why I'm so fucking stoked?
Stoked.
Go ahead and Google Charlie Kirk. Go ahead, read the latest headlines, and you'll see why I'm so fucking You fucking stoked right now. You want to know why I'm so fucking stoked?
So
go ahead and Google
for the students.
This is the actual video of the moment that Charlie Kirk was shot at a university in Utah. I'm going to let you listen to the conversation that's being had, but ironically, the conversation was about mass shootings, and they were referencing the recent mass shooting. The person asking the question says, "Do you know how many trans mass shooters there's been in history?" And Charlie Kirk says, "Too many." Then he says, "Do you know how many mass shootings there's been overall?" And he says, "Do you want to include gang violence or not?" That was the conversation that was had. And then immediately after saying that, you can see Charlie Kirk, you can hear the shot get fired, and you can see Charlie Kirk slump over in his chair. Absolutely terrifying moment. Listen, I strongly advocate against violence. This is not okay. This is not how we solve our problems. This is not the answer. I absolutely condemn this. This is yet another instance of a firearm being brought onto a school campus and someone being shot. Now, inevitably, this conversation is going to lead to how Charlie Kirk is one of the voices that rallies against gun control. That conversation is going to come up. But the video itself, I'm not going to show the actual moment he's shot. It is too much. I'm sure it's going to be online eventually. I'm not going to be the one to show it, but it's terrifying. I hope that he recovers from this. This is just, this is not okay. But listen, we've got to get better control of guns. Gun reform has to be a conversation. Let me let you listen to the video, the conversation that happened prior to the shot being fired.
So, do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm going to give you some credit.
Jim
Do
Silence,
you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not
Graphic
counting
detail,
gang
viewer
violence.
discretion is advised. Graphic video, viewer discretion is advised. Let's hear some more of this Charlie Kirk guy. This is my first time hearing Charlie Kirk today. Like I said, I was wondering why so many people disliked him. The media showed a lot of different clips from what I'm seeing right now. I'm fresh to this. I have not seen any of these things really before right now. So let's watch these different opinions about who this guy really is. Some people say this guy's a freaking Nazi.
What's
See, man, what's
going
happening,
on,
Jack?
man? What's happening with you?
Man, just recapping this Charlie Kirk assassination at Utah campus, Utah University campus.
Okay.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's go to the Patriot Oasis. Breaking. The liberal says to save your sympathy for the people being deported. Not a Nazi like Charlie Kirk. I don't care that he was a person. I think he is better off gone. Shut the fuck up.
Wow.
Viewer discretion is advised. These are all opinions from the country. It shows educational purposes only.
Save your sympathy for the kids who are getting bombed in Palestine. Save your sympathy for the people who are getting thrown in the concentration camps right now. Save your sympathy for the kids who are getting bombed in Palestine. Save your sympathy for the people who are getting thrown in the concentration camps right now. Save your fucking sympathy for the people getting deported right now for no reason. Save your sympathy for those people and not an evil man who has done nothing but harm other people and be a Nazi. Why are you empathizing and sympathizing with him? I don't care that he was a person. He wasn't to me. He was a Nazi. And if that doesn't make me a leftist because I think he's better off gone, so fucking be it. So fucking be it. Because a lot of y'all like to talk a big talk, but then when someone finally
Good God,
walks the walk,
salute.
y'all are like, this is so bad. This is so bad. Shut the fuck up. Take your fake ass moral views and get the fuck out of it. Save your sympathy for the kids who are getting bombed in Palestine. Save your sympathy for people who are getting thrown in the concentration camps right now. Save your fucking sympathy for the people getting deported right now for no reason. Save your sympathy for those people and not an evil man who has done nothing but harm other people.
Hello. Oh. Be respectful, guys. He can do what he wants. Oh, can I start now? Oh. Nice to meet you, Charlie.
People and be a Nazi.
All right, let's go to Charlie Kirk shreds the myth of systematic racism.
Be respectful, guys. He can do what he wants. Oh, can I start now? Oh. Nice to meet you, Charlie. I'm a big fan. I think you're very beautiful, man. I admire you physically. But no homo. I did have a question. Something I don't find very interesting about you, something I find kind of repulsive, is that I believe you said that the Civil Rights Act was bad and that we shouldn't have that. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't like you as much as Charlie, though. First of all, what's your name? Sorry. I don't want to be like filmed and stuff. I'm anonymous, number one. Anonymous guy. Okay. Well, hello. Nice to meet you, anonymous guy. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you too. Yeah. I believe in part of the essence of the Civil Rights Act went way too far, way too wide. Oh, how did it go too far?
Well, for example, it created an entire civil rights leviathan that gave us affirmative action.
Civil rights leviathan? What do you mean?
Yeah, so if you can let me finish three words in.
Sorry.
It allowed the Department of Justice to go after people that have different skin color, aka white people, and prevent them from getting jobs in college admissions.
You have a job.
I'm sorry?
You have a job.
No, you're right. I do. Right. But just until Trump came around, until the Supreme Court decision, thanks to the Civil Rights Act, if you have white skin color, it's much harder to get into a college than if someone has black skin color. Much harder. You have to get higher test scores. It's a much harder pool, largely thanks to the precedent set by the Civil Rights Act.
That's bullshit,
stuff that we're seeing.
Yeah, not to mention all the trans stuff. Yeah, hey, Charlie Kirk might. Yeah, now I'm starting to see I'm starting to see why they are saying they are happy that this guy got a bullet in his neck. He's like, I want y'all to hear this guy. Like, this is a serious topic right now. This is a serious topic. Like I said, I'm just not getting a hold of this information about him. I don't know this guy. I'm just seeing everything as it plays out today. I've never heard of this guy before this incident today. Never heard of him. This is an honest opinion. I mean, it's honest facts. Never heard of this guy.
We're seeing men be able to win trophies and medals from women across the country, and they use the Civil Rights Act to justify it.
Okay, I think I see where you're coming from. So you think that it's harder for white people because of black people, they can have lower tech scores? I get it.
It's not what I think.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Okay, all right. Well, I guess what I would say too. I think perhaps you're familiar with the term equity, right? Where different people have different circumstances.
It's Marxism. I reject.
Okay. Well, whether you reject it or not, I think it's a prescient concept in this argument, because what you have to understand is that when for example, you're born in like a black neighborhood, you're born in like O Block or something, like a very like a O Block is. Oh, well, if you're born there, if you're born in a very poor area like that, with like very low economic activity, very very poor schools with very low ratings, with average test scores much lower, when you're in that environment, you have the whole system up against you, right? So when you say that kind of circumstance, when you're facing the whole, I guess, leviathan of systemic racism, so you say that. Sorry, let me just finish it. When you say it's fair to, for example, lower the standard because knowing that there's circumstances like that, perhaps based on what they had, what was presented to them, they had the correct amount of merit to get into a school.
Okay, so are you a student here? I'm guessing you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm a student here.
Are you a pretty good student?
Oh, yeah, I would say I'm a good student. I have a pretty high GPA.
Okay. Yeah. Can you give your GPA to her because she's a woman of color, please?
Oh, well, you want me to give you I mean, I can.
Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, sure.
You cool with that?
Yeah, I'm fine. Wait, you mean
I want you
like tell her or like
no,
give it to her?
By force.
So we're swapping.
Let me tell you what I'm going to do. By force, white man.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to take your GPA. I'm going to give it to a woman of color.
Okay.
You're cool with that?
I mean, yeah, I can just work back up. Like,
there's no working back up.
I can pull myself up by my bootstraps.
No, there's no working back up.
What do you mean you can't work back up? That's the whole point of conservatism, isn't it?
I'm going to keep on taking it from you because that's equity. And you're cool with that.
What? But that's not.
This is equity in practice.
Equity isn't taking. Equity is applying the equal standard.
If you give, how do you get? You must take and then you give.
Wait, what do you mean?
That which is given must first be taken.
Well, what's being taken?
Well, in this case, grades from you to grades to her.
No one's taking my grades though. That's not what affirmative action
called,
is.
Well, hold on a
no
second.
one takes your grades.
Hold on a second. If you only have so many, positions at University of South Florida to come in, right? There's a set number. Let's say it's 20,000 people. Okay. And we're going to say we're going to lower the test standards so that somebody that's a woman of color can come in, and therefore it's harder for you. So it's a higher bar for you, lower bar for them. Definitionally, that's a redistribution.
If you notice what he said, woman of color. So basically, he's already excluding the black man out of the picture, out of the equation. And if you've been listening to shows, I've already said it's a fact. As far as the jobs and the things of that nature, they tend to hire black women fast. Like I said, I'm not agreeing with everything this guy said. I'm not disagreeing or anything like that. But facts are facts. But when he says that the civil rights movement and all that kind of stuff was too much given. I mean, come on, we got like this. Listen. We have to respect other people. This is a country of liberty, country of freedom, justice. This guy Charlie Kirk crossed the line. Cross the line, no doubt about it. But we're gonna give him his just due. Individually, this is my first time seeing this guy, my first time hearing it. And I can respect somebody who's blatantly honest. I can respect honesty. I can respect honest opinion, you know, and things like that. But when you get too far out the way and now you're just disrespecting each and everyone's rights and freedoms, people gonna take offense to that. And as we saw today,
Attribution of
they
test
definitely
scores
took
to somebody
offense.
else. Just by the definition. And you're okay with that?
Well, I guess I would ask then, if we were to do what you're doing, I guess that's what's happening under Trump, right?
Well, no, it's actually been happening the last 40 years.
Okay, actually, yeah, whatever. Okay, so when you say that, if you do that, then, well, black people aren't in the school, they won't be able to uplift themselves, they won't be able to have prosperous families, they won't be able to, you know, equalize the economic status, because you need to give them a little jump start. You know, you have a car, right?
How is that? How is? Well, no. Now I know who you are.
No, it's good.
But no, how has that worked the last 40 years? We've had robust affirmative action. We've had hiring practices. Has it made Black America more successful?
I can answer that easily. It's because sorry. It's because sorry. What am I going for? Oh,
I don't know.
You're a funny guy. So what happened is, even after the Civil Rights Act, you know what I believe the term is massive resistance. It was a movement in after the Broad versus Board of Education in Virginia, where essentially the legislature, which was still white supremacist, which is still extremely racist, they decided that no, we're going to do everything that feasibly possible within our means to stop Black people from going to white schools. You even see this in I believe it was the Little Rock Nine, right? Even after it was legalized at the state level, white supremacist mobs still mobilized to prevent it. So even if it de facto it's gone, de jure it still exists.
Let me ask you a very simple question.
Yeah.
A term you keep on throwing around.
Got you.
What is racism?
What is racism? Ooh, that's a very complicated question. But
no, it's not.
I mean, there's a simple answer, and then there's the highly theoretical answer.
Give me the simple.
The simple answer will essentially be because we have like different skin colors, that he's treated a different way than me. He has like a different upbringing than me.
No. But what is
He's subjected to
racism in practice?
It's discrimination
based on the color of skin.
Based on the color of the skin. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. So isn't it racist then to penalize white people to come into college or to get jobs based on the color of their skin?
Well, no.
Wouldn't that be racist? So you're arguing for a very racist policy, which is that we should actively discriminate against people based on the color of their skin, which is affirmative action in DEI in practice.
I just disagree with the premise that you can do like anti-white racism because
wait, can you be racist against white people?
No, bro, I'm a cracker, bro. What the? No, you can't be racist towards white. There's so many crackers here, bro. There's your clip, bro. There's your clip.
Yeah. Right now, I'm starting to see this guy really might just be a Nazi for real. Everybody knows America has had a huge racist issue, a huge one. And I'm assuming by this guy, he's speaking white power. And that's definitely something that's been known to be racist, known to be deadly, known to be agonizing. For this guy to be totally going against the people, liberty, justice, and freedom for all. This is why he was assassinated. I'm not even done with this guy. Like we're gonna go all night with this, but like I'm just listening to a few minutes. This is my first time. Like, once again, my first time listening to him. Never heard of him until the assassination, and I'm giving my honest and visual opinion from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing out his mouth right now. Agree to disagree, fine. I'm not a white boy. But I do know and see the play. For him to be acting as if white men are being penalized and being victims in America, that is bogus. 100% bogus.
Well, what are you gonna do political violence to me, bro? Like, why are you saying that to me? You're making me scared. Okay.
So let me tell you what we believe, because you tell us what you believe.
Okay.
Your worldview is indistinguishable from the KKK. That you want to organize the world based on skin color. We want to organize the world based on merit and character, based on how hard you work, what you bring to the table. I believe it's destructive and wrong to say that people are going to be organized or have their future set based on the color of their skin. I think it's tribalistic. I think it is divisive, and I think it hurts the excellence of a country. You asked a question, well, how are we going to help other communities? You know how you help other communities? Stop pandering to them and start treating them like individuals made in the image of God, not tribes to be organized for political purposes.
Okay, so do you think, like, when Trump is now he's president, now that racism is gone now because Trump's back, we're no longer pandering, right? Do you think that the conditions of black people, do you think Block would become like a much nicer place? Do you think that these very downturned sort of black neighborhoods that have been sort of left behind, do you think they're going to become revitalized now? Is that what you think is going to happen?
Yeah, they'll do better for sure.
Do you think they're going to do better? Now that we've stopped helping them, they're going to do better.
Well, see, that's an interesting thing.
Because it seems like contradictory to me, just on basic logic.
Well, actually, black Americans under Donald Trump in the first term saw the greatest economic renaissance that they saw since the 1950s.
You don't think that's due to
wage
Obama,
increases, lowest unemployment, revitalization, amazing investment in their communities, opportunity zones.
But that's when we had affirmative action. So wouldn't that be bad?
Well, again, we actually got rid of affirmative action now.
But that was now. But I'm talking about before.
Those are unrelated things, though. Just
do you think they don't seem unrelated to me?
Well, affirmative action
is addressing racism.
Affirmative action is, again.
So I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you are. That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Affirmative action is largely federal government hiring practices and the adjacent institutions. I think that all communities will do even better when we stop living under the soft bigotry of low expectations. Inherent in your argument is that we have to pander to certain communities based on the color of their skin because they can't do as well as white people. I reject the premise. I think that we should try to say, I don't care about the color of your skin. I care about what you bring to the table, and stop pandering to people based on special criteria, points, and acceptance to college, saying that we're going to make it easier for one group and harder for another group.
I don't think it's pandering, though. I think it's understanding.
Okay, but let me.
Understanding
do you think that
circumstances and working based on that?
Do you think that we should have black-only dormitories in America?
No. Why would I want that?
Okay, well, there's hundreds of schools that have those actually.
What do you mean black-only? Like they're not. White people are not allowed in.
No, white people are not allowed.
White people. Yeah, that's why I said white people are not allowed.
Correct. We have black-only graduation ceremonies across the country.
Well, those are from well, I believe those are most likely like HBCUs, right?
No, like the University of Michigan has one, Yale has one, Harvard has one. So we're agreeing that that is wrong. That is the furthest extension of hyper race obsession. So you could choose one or the other. You could be race obsessed or merit obsessed. We as conservatives decide to be merit obsessed, to build a country based on how hard you work and what you're able to deliver.
All right, so there you have it. Those are some very deep thoughts with this guy. We got plenty more content on him, and we're gonna give him a fair shake. Not gonna bag or just make up anything on him. We're gonna get this guy a fair shake. But clearly, there definitely is some racist thinking. I don't know what world he's living in, but clearly.
14 times he was previously arrested. And comes up, takes out a knife, stabs her to death. Comes up, takes out a knife, stabs her to death. 14 times he was previously arrested. 4 times. 14 times he comes up and just stabs her to death. Situations like this are a nearly daily occurrence in our cities. We do not have to live this way. You can create a society and a culture where you can get on a train or a subway and not be Irina Zarutska and get stabbed to death in the neck because some black criminal decides, I'm just going to go do it. 14 times he was previously arrested. And all of the Koch brother funded liberal criminal justice BS is the reason why guys like him are still on the streets. 14 times. Let's put this back up on screen. And Irina Zarutska, why did she come to America? She was fleeing violence in Ukraine. It turns out it's more dangerous and subways in Charlotte, North Carolina than a war zone in Ukraine. comes up, takes out a knife, stabs her to death.
All right, so that guy who stabbed the lady on the bus, he was dead wrong, no doubt about it. But the way they blowing it up as if, you know, her life was more important than any other person that gets murdered every day is beyond ridiculous. That's another form of despicable racist media. That what happened on that bus was dead wrong, and that dude needs to be held to the full accountability and state the law for that they can do. But to sit up here and make it as if she's the only person who's been killed maliciously out of nowhere, you know, news is news, headlines is headlines, but to overdo it and, you know, now the feds are involved. People get done wrong every day, and I'm like I said, that guy needs to be held fully accountable for what he did to that lady on that bus. That was despicable, disgusting, atrocious, demonic, disgusting, shithead move. I don't agree with that at all. I'm not. I couldn't even act like that was cool, you know. But at the same time, the guy got mental issues. He's schizophrenic, you know, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So this is not a regular person here. It's just that's out here doing it for a radical cause. This guy's a fucking nut job that needs to be in a fucking psych ward. And it's simple as that. Simple as that. They're blowing it up as if this is some, you know, I can see if it was a terroristic move to where, you know, it was for a cause. This guy's a fucking schizophrenic. Okay. That's why you got to watch your surroundings, your area. Watch where you sit at. Watch who you're around.
I got something to say on that.
You got to stand up on the bus. You just can't get on no bus and sit down. Sometimes I don't give a fuck how many seats open. You got to stand up sometimes.
I got something.
Stand your, you know, and I'm not saying what she did was wrong. You sit where you want. You do what you want. I'm not going there. I'm just speaking on facts, man. You know, clearly she must have felt comfortable to sit in front of this motherfucker.
Can I speak?
Oh, okay. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry, C-Man.
This is how I look at that issue. One, that girl came from hell over there where she came from. She came here for safety as a refugee. She had to escape over in her hometown from bombings and massacre of her people. Now, for her to come over here, you know, the girl is working at a pizzeria, trying to have a decent, safe life in general, sent over here to some of her people that was looking after her and all. I think it's horrible for a young lady, I have a young daughter, to sit on a bus with it, whether this guy is schizophrenic, crazy, or whatever. He's been arrested over, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. He just left the judge. The judge knows who he is and want him to come to court on his own, regardless of because he was or whatever, he was supposed to come to court. But I understand what you're saying, mental and all. I have friends which are mental, but I will say this: motherfuckers know what they're doing, mental or not. And the reason why I say that, I have a friend that did 33 years in prison. When he came home, and he's mental, when he came home, he remembered the shit that he done before he went to prison 33 years ago. Now, if I was president of the United States, I would send this guy that's crazy, just like Robin Harris said in his skit, my friend, rest in peace. You crazy? Motherfucker, I'm crazy too. And he pulled the switch. Now, I don't think that he should get the death penalty. That's too good. It's over with too quick. I think he's in Sarah's time. It's disgusting what he did, because in his mind, he know what the fuck he did. That's why he had a knife. Because as he was getting off of that bus, he was saying, I killed that white girl. So if you said,
oh, that's what they said he
I
said?
heard him say it on the audio. He said,
Oh,
I
wow.
killed that white girl. I killed that white girl. So one, you know she was white. Two, you know what the fuck you did. Now, if I was president of the United States, I would be trying to send that motherfucker to Ukraine prison. If I was president, I'd be trying to send that motherfucker to.
Don't you think Americans gave Ukraine enough?
That motherfucker.
Oh, you saying send the
Yeah.
send the killer to Ukraine?
Send
Oh, wow.
that motherfucker to Ukraine, let their prison deal with them, because she was one of theirs. That was a sweet, innocent child, man. A beautiful, sweet, innocent child. And for niggas to be on the motherfucking bus and not try to help this person, you gonna tell me you don't see a motherfucker standing up in red with bright red on? Only motherfucker on the bus wearing red? They didn't give a fuck. I agree with the white people on that. You had a bitch sitting next to her on her cell phone. Two motherfuckers in back looking at their cell phone. Now, if I'm sitting in the back of a motherfucking bus and a motherfucker standing up in red, you took a glimpse, you saw this motherfucker stand up. You saw this motherfucker do the act. So I'm going to just say this to that brother that did that shit. One down, one gone. There's no mental or whatever the fuck. He know what the fuck he did. So he ain't one of us no more. He's a demonic motherfucker sent by Satan. That's how I look at that.
Wow. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. That assessment on that, because like I said, that was an atrocious act. The guy, send him to Ukraine.
That motherfucker. No, put him in
prison. All right, let's go to
put him in Ukraine prison. But it can't happen.
Hey, if I'm on the show, man, can you close the door? Cut the light on?
Yeah, it can't happen because it happened on U.S. soil. But if I was Ukraine, I'd be mad in a motherfucker. Like they said, if it happened to one of us, we burn down the whole motherfucking city. And that's facts.
Well, I think if it happened to us, they'll just call the guy what he is, a fucking nut job, and it'll be just another murder, bro.
Aryan Nation get his ass.
Oh, okay. Thank you, God, for giving us Charlie Kirk Talk Church. Here's another Christian, radical
Please
Christian
explain
group.
to everyone
Let's hear what they
out
have to say.
here what Jesus stood for, and especially the qualities of love, how to love your neighbor even if they don't agree with you.
So what is your name again?
Talise.
Talise, that's a beautiful question. I'm glad you came up to ask it. So John 8, if I'm drawing from memory correctly, best embodies both Christ's mercy and love, but also his commitment to truth. And sometimes in the modern gospel, we overemphasize the grace and we underemphasize the truth. And so we are far too willing to say, hey, Jesus loves everybody, but we don't get to the second part of the conversation that says Jesus doesn't want you to live in sin. So this is, in John 8, it's best embodied, right? Almost every Christian in this audience will be able to tell you the first part of this, which is a bunch of Sadducees and Pharisees who are standing around with rocks, and they're about to stone the prostitute woman. And Jesus comes up and says, let the first among you without sin cast the first stone. And everyone starts dropping the rocks. But what comes next shows that Christ is not just grace-focused, he's simultaneously truth-focused. He goes up to the woman who had a career in selling herself for sex and said, sin no more. Now, imagine today how much trouble you would get in if you would go up to somebody and say, stop sinning. Oh, you're being too judgmental. No, you're actually being Christ-like. So Jesus stood. He was 100% grace and truth. And that tension is very hard in a modern world because we want to overemphasize grace when in reality, Christ loves us too much to have us continue to live in sin. He wants us to try to elevate our actions to glorify God in all that we do.
Well, you know, we know a lot of people use they use Jesus Christ to do. History has shown people use Jesus Christ to do demonic acts.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to Spirit of Admitos. Warning: graphic footage. Warning: graphic footage. Closer look at ring finger switch to pinky as Charlie Kirk slumped. Camera error or something inexplicable.
Some have noticed that when Charlie Kirk was shot, somehow
That's all right. Something stopping this video from
somehow
playing.
is some have noticed that when Charlie Kirk was shot,
Must be something they don't want us to see here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it got to be something to that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
absolutely. There's something to that. What about, it's just so much ridiculous shit happening. What about the girl that was killed in Chicago dropping off her son by her ex-man's bitch?
Oh, she
How
begged
so?
for that. You talking about the stud, the lady that was killed by with the dude arguing in the
Man,
street?
that girl was dropping off her son, and the dude,
Yeah, she was dropping off her son, and her girlfriend decided to run up on her boyfriend, and that's what happened. She pulled out a gun. I know you ain't feeling sorry for that.
no. Listen. Do you know what happened? Or I can enlighten you.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. A lady was dropping. The father was coming to pick up his son.
No.
And the girlfriend of the baby mama got into it with the baby daddy.
No.
What do you mean?
Let me tell you
That's
what
exactly what
Sam.
happened.
The girl was dropping off.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So let me make sure we're speaking on the same story. Where did this happen at? And are you sure about that? Were they at a gate? Was it a gate? Were they in front of a gate? Were they in the middle of the street? Was it a shootout?
Now let me tell you what happened.
I'm
No, it
asking you,
wasn't
was
a
it a
shootout.
shootout?
Let me tell you what happened.
Okay, we're talking about two different stories. Yeah, we're talking about two
This
different
story
stories. I'm
happened
sorry.
in Chicago, where a sister was dropping off her son.
I think the DOJ should immediately move.
Okay, dropping
Go ahead, I'm
off
sorry.
her son. Her ex nigga shows up with his woman. They get into some type of argument. This nigga puts her in a headlock, and his bitch shoots her in the face.
Oh wow, that's horrible.
Yeah, that happened in Chicago. That is definitely horrible because she was dropping off her son so she could go to work. Her name, yep, her name is, what is her name? Romika Meeks. ROMECAMEEKS.
All right, let's see if it's anything about it.
Romika Meeks.
Oh wow. Let's go to the Romika Meeks topic. We'll get back to you, Charlie. And it was on video?
Yes. I don't know if you're going to see the shooting, but you'll hear the story.
Okay, let's go to Romika Meeks, Chicago. Let's see what's going on here. Romika Meeks was dropping off her kid at school when she ran into baby daddy's girlfriend. They started arguing. One thing got heated, fast out of nowhere. The other baby mama put out a gun.
She's the one who shot her. She's the one who shot her. But she shot her. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You shot somebody, nigga. What the fuck wrong with you? Calm down. Calm down. She put the gun in the car. The gun she shot her. This one right here. She shot her. She shot her. She put the gun in the car. She put the gun in the car. The gun is in the car. Arrest her.
Heavy police presence here near Cermak and State. You can see that police have taped off a portion of the area. Right now, detectives are surrounding a white sedan that appears to be connected to this incident. Chicago police saying that early this morning, around 9:30, there was a fight between two women. That scene unfolding here near State and Cermak. One of the women allegedly pulled out a gun and shot the other woman in the face. The 31-year-old victim was taken to the hospital and later died. Now, the suspect has been taken into custody, and Chicago police say this is still a very ongoing investigation. So once again, this taking place here near Cermak in State is still very active as we speak, and we'll get you more information as soon as we get that. But for now, we're live in the South Loop. Lisa Nunez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, we got more footage, more to talk about. Here's video. Viewer discretion is advised. Viewer discretion is advised. Graphic content, armed robber. Okay, this might not be the video. You said the shooting was on tape?
What you just saw, I saw, but let me tell you.
Man,
no.
Okay. You stopped Charlie Kirk for this, for Romika? That's what Charlie Kirk was talking about. Black women Getting more.
Man, don't start no bullshit.
Yeah, that's what Charlie Kirk was talking about. We stopped Charlie Kirk to talk about Ramika Meeks, and man, I thought it was. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on. I see my wrong for that.
Yeah, okay. Go on back.
Fuck. Man, come on. Even I agree. Hey, Charlie, I'm with you on that one, man. Dang.
Yeah, but the boy had her in a headlock.
Hey, man, Charlie Kirk just got his fucking head blown off, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Dang. Sorry, Charlie. Ramika was more important. Dang. Yeah, Charlie. Charlie. Even I know you didn't deserve that one, Charlie.
What happened?
Charlie.
Where did Charlie get shot at?
Utah University campus.
Who shot Charlie? Yellow, black, white, or brown?
It's still on the run. Here's a description of the campus. If you look to the left, Charlie Kirk was shot while speaking to audience in courtyard, 200 yards away. Loose center, suspected location, the shooter on the right, top of the building. Hell of a sniper. Utah Valley University.
Well, he didn't want to be caught. He said everybody else got caught, so he ain't gonna get caught. Everybody got caught except for him.
Before he died, he had some things to say.
I think the DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein documents in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah. Everything. Everything except sexual assault material.
I think every file should be released to the public the same way as the JFK files. Let the American people decide. I think the DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein documents in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah. Everything.
Everything
except sexual assault material.
I think every file should be released to the public the same way as the JFK files. Let the American people decide. I think the DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein documents in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah. Everything. Everything except.
You got to recognize that's a bold statement, guys. That's a bold statement.
I think the DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein. And the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. Spiritual battle is coming to the West. And the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it. Epstein documents in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah. Everything.
And
everything except sexual assault material.
I think every file should be released.
There's his views on that. Let's go to
I'm just really glad Charlie Kirk just got himself fucking shot because he's right. Empathy is dangerous to society. So no one should give a fuck that he's dead. He said it. I'm just saying his words. All I'm doing is using his words. You can't be mad at me for using his words. I think empathy is a new wave thing and it's very problematic. You right. No empathy for you. 0. I'm just really glad Charlie Kirk just got himself fucking shot.
Get away.
American people decide. I think
Some
the
people feel
DOJ
that way,
should
man. I'm
immediately
telling you,
move to
when
unseal all the
when
Epstein
you cross that line, when you cross that line to where it's like, you know, it's not really about what can change the people, like what can better us. We cannot judge others for their sex life. You know what I'm saying? You can't hop up in there. These people want to do what they want to do. And that's where the control game starts, when you get to, you know, making these bold statements about what's too much of this, what's too much of that, and you don't have the right protection. I'm not saying you can't say what you want, but you got to have the right protection to say these type of things and stick to it. Now, I don't agree with trans competing with. I don't believe with boys competing with girls. I don't believe with girls competing with boys. But at the same time, if girls want to enter the NFL, baseball, the NBA, and things of that nature, and I'm not talking about coaching. I'm just speaking on playing or competing.
Oh yeah, if it's
not speaking on working or coaching.
No, but wait a minute.
That's if you. I mean, like, so a woman can play NBA with men, but a man, like, see what I'm saying? It's double standards of that. Even when you think about this, why it shouldn't even be. It's women should have women, men should have men.
No, but
if you're gonna let a woman play with men, then Then it's gonna be an argument about a man playing with a woman.
The thing is,
so we can't, you know, get caught up in that. We gotta stick to certain types of, you know, lanes.
But that's why,
you know, now unless you, huh?
No, go ahead.
No, I was just speaking on, like, you know, it gets crazy. It gets crazy because you know, when you speak on these subjects, you got trans dudes blowing out the girls in competition, and I don't, you know, I just don't agree with that. I don't think it should be allowed, but at the same time, this is how it goes.
Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that. We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive. They think we're like, oh, of course. That's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance. Of course. Oh no, imagine the world without Joy Reid. Imagine the world without Sheila Jackson Lee or Michelle Obama or Ketanji Brown Jackson. They think this is persuasive. They think as they kind of now reveal that I'm only here because of anti-white, anti-Asian forced discrimination policies that turned me into a bitter, resentful activist that hates white people, honestly, through our politics.
You know, this guy gets deep. You know, like I said, I see what the backlash is about. let's take this standpoint he goes about reparations. Charlie Kirk, black people
How do you feel
shouldn't
about
get
the black
reparations.
community receiving reparations?
I'm against that. Yeah.
Okay. Why so?
Well, first of all, what is the black community? So, for example, do you mean like recent immigrants from Haiti or Nigeria?
I do not. No.
Okay, for sure. So you're meaning like ancestral descendants of slaves.
Correct.
That could be proven with documentation.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. So to be consistent, do you believe that other groups?
Well, I can start you off right there when he let him say that can be proven with, like, you know, of course, proven true, but the way he's about it is that it's still not giving full detail of who you are. Because it was the skin color black was already here when they got here. They just make the Indians appear to be high yellow for a reason. They make the natives to be high yellow for a reason. They want you to believe that those natives were high yellow like that for a reason. They want to take away the color so you don't know who you really are. The Indians got reparations. Holocaust victims got reparations. This country built off of blacks, and people are still eating from even back in the 1700s, the family lineage from the slave owners back then. Is those buildings you see downtown. Most of those buildings you see downtown in every city, every major city, came from slave money.
Did you know that?
It's ties.
Did you know that there was a black woman that owned downtown LA first? I just said her the other day.
Let's break that down, because even that's miscommunication, and that's how Charlie Kirk got killed, for miscommunicating. A black woman owned the land, not the buildings, not the property you see. She owned the land, grass, the trees. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, she owned the land. Exactly.
That have been mistreated in America should also receive reparations.
What are those other groups?
Well, not necessarily by America, but let's just take one. Jewish Americans, right?
Okay.
They almost got eliminated in the Holocaust. Should they receive reparations?
Not from us.
Okay, not from us.
Not from the United States, that is.
Okay. So here's my view, and I want to hear yours,
Okay.
which is that I did not own slaves, and you were not a slave.
Correct.
Right. So we are individuals, and therefore we cannot be held accountable or should receive something from something that didn't happen to us.
Let's stop it there. He goes, I don't own slaves, and you're not a slave. At the same time, if your family is still benefiting or has benefited from the Slave Act and cruelty and things of that nature, of free labor from blacks, you are very much so a beneficiary of the slave trade.
Or something we did not do. That is a basic law of justice, that I can't be held accountable for something that somebody looked like me did, and you should not benefit from something that somebody you were related to. Now, you'll probably say systemic racism and how that passed down to generations. Happy to address that. The problem with reparations, though, is basically what you're saying is, I'm going to take money from Charlie Kirk for something he didn't do and give it to a group of something, to somebody of something they also didn't do. For what reason? How is that just?
I'm convinced Charlie Kirk is a racist. He may be, how can I put this? How can I put this? I'm trying to give him some type of credit, but every time I'm listening to him, it's some like radical right, ridiculous statement as far as, you know, another way to keep a black man or black people in some kind of judicial low class bubble. When this country's built off of free labor and you give money to all kind of victims of other acts. Notice he didn't, he didn't go into detail about the Jews. Jews received reparations for the Holocaust. Several different organizations in India, like several different people, organizations, groups of people received reparations. This is a common act. The reason they don't want to give Black people money at this point in time, it has to be a deeper agenda.
You want to know why they don't want to give Black people money? Because
Speak on it.
They feel that when
How do you feel about the Black community receiving reparations?
I'm against that. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry.
The reason being because we as Black people, whenever we come together on certain situations or certain opportunities, when we come together, it's powerful. So imagine if the Black people got the reparations and came together. It would be a very powerful agenda. Think about it. When we came together in sports, we took it over. When we came together doing real estate firms, we took it over. When it came together doing any type of active business, we took it over. Look at Black Wall Street. When we came together, they burned it down. So that's why, because they figured that we're gonna build our own and be unstoppable. That's what it is. But what they don't realize is this. It's not gonna be the unity like it was back in the 60s and everything else. Because, a lot of us, unfortunately, would act a fool with reparations. Well, what will we do with it? But as I say, though, we still deserve it as a whole, just like the Indians. I told an Indian not so long ago, your people were slaughtered, but you still here, but yet you get this check every single month. You didn't know your ancestors that were slaughtered, and just like we don't know who ours are. So the Chinese knew who theirs were. But we definitely deserve it for what we went through. I look at the things that's going through with immigrations and everything else. I mean, we were discriminated against since the day we came out of our mother's womb. So that's how I feel about that.
Absolutely. This is not a not a debate. You know what I'm saying? It's people say what they want. It was a gang of people that was completely against this guy, and I'm really seeing what they are talking about. I think he means well for his people and his people only. I don't think he's 100%, but at the end of the day, racist is racist, disgusting. I think he's political, so I think he has to have some kind of connection with other races of people and things of that nature. But the views and the opinions that I'm hearing are 100% racist. Not all, but only a small, not all, but let's say 90. I'm at like a 95% racist guy right here. I'm not gonna say he's 100%. He's just, I give him a 95.
Hello. Oh. Be respectful, guys. You can do what he wants.
Oh, can I start now? Oh. Nice to meet you, Charlie. I'm a big fan. I think you're a very beautiful man. I admire you physically. But no homo. I did have a question. Something I don't find very interesting about you, something I find kind of repulsive. is that I believe you said that the Civil Rights Act was bad and that we shouldn't have that.
Okay. Well,
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't like you as much as Charlie, though.
First of all, what's your name?
Sorry. I don't want to be like filmed and stuff.
Too late.
I'm
You're
anonymous,
comparing
number
abortion
one.
to the Holocaust.
Anonymous
Absolutely,
guy.
I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse. It's worse. Like a capitalist every single day, Cenk. I live as a capitalist. Okay? I live when I believe. What?
So you're comparing abortion to the Holocaust.
All right, here's ranking worst Charlie Kirk moments. Go to top 5.
So you're comparing abortion to the Holocaust.
Absolutely, I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse. It's worse. Like a capitalist every single day, Cenk. I live as a capitalist. Okay? I live when I believe. What do? I get charity every single year. Hold on. Come on, Cenk. Let's go.
Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is human being? This,
Without a doubt.
without a doubt,
Yes.
this is a dolphin fetus.
Does fetus mean in Latin?
What the? I'm sorry. Is this
It means little human being.
The smile is very creepy. Okay.
Smiling is creepy.
No, your smile specifically.
You are a culture warrior. I believe when everything is done, Mr. Kirk, people will see you and the people you supported as corrupt, as selling the country out to the lowest bidder, and of doing irreparable damage to a country I'm sure we all deep down love.
The difference.
You will have to reckon with that.
Difference
Mr. Kirk.
is when.
Been really frequently getting the question of, not question, but statements saying like, you're white, you're privileged, you're Christian. How can you argue these things when you don't understand what like an oppressed individual is going through?
Thank you for your question. So white privilege is a myth and a lie and should be completely destroyed. It's rooted in racism. It is a racist idea. It is a racist idea. The best people in America are not white people. They're Asian Americans and Indian Americans. So why don't they ever talk about Asian American privilege? Asian Americans were widely discriminated against in the 1940s and 50s. We treated them horribly and put them in internment camps. Then through a series of decades of making good choices, they've now become the richest per capita subracial group in America. I never hear about Asian American privilege. Never hear about people getting so upset that all the Asian Americans are getting the PhDs or the degrees or all the good jobs in California, yet they're trying to target white people. Here comes the basis of it. If they're trying to balkanize this country and break us into different subracial groups, that is the definition of racism.
Been really frequently getting the question of, not question, but statements saying like, you're white, you're privileged, you're Christian. How can you argue these things when you don't understand what an oppressed individual is going through?
Thank you for your question. So white privilege is a myth and a lie and should be completely destroyed.
Okay.
Man, there's no telling who was coming at him because he's everywhere.
He was shaking. He's ruffling feathers.
Have longer sentences for similar crimes, and that's when every other demographic factor is accounted for, like age, income, I guess area within society. So I was wondering what you think about that, particularly because there is that imbalance, and I would regard that as institutional. So,
is the quality of their legal representation factored into the study?
I can't speak to that because I don't know.
It's not. So, for example, if LeBron James committed a crime, he'd have pretty good lawyers, right?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's an income and or legal quality point, not a race point, right? Here's my contention. My contention is the following. There are other reasons to blame disparities other than discrimination, a lot. And one of my biggest learning moments today on campus is how almost everything gets attributed to racism or discrimination. There's a fabulous book I encourage all of you to read. It should be required reading by Black economist Thomas Sowell called Discrimination. It might be the other way around, disparities, whatever. I think it is discrimination and disparities. And he makes the argument there are hundreds of other potential explanations for not just racial groups, but smaller than racial groups, how you go locally, linguistically, and all this. So I encourage you to look at that. And you have to factor that in. I don't think for a second, then you wouldn't either, that Oprah Winfrey, who has a house right down the street, if she committed a crime, that somehow she would not be able to get the best legal help. It's not about skin color as much as it is income, which is not about race. It's about other choices, such as, is there a father in the home? For example, if a Black has a mom and a dad present, that family and that child has a higher chance of all objective facts of success, college attendance, low likelihood of committing crimes, than a white child that has just a single mother. You see, fatherhood transcends color lines. And what we have learned through massive macroeconomic studies is that when Blacks have fathers around, not only do they succeed as much, they succeed even more sometimes than white families. And that is my contention. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, he definitely was. He was definitely pro-white.
Man, his kids ain't got no daddy, so now what?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. I was wondering why people was hating him so bad. Like, I didn't really like. This is my first time ever hearing of him, and so as I'm scrolling down, like looking through all these old fake ass tears and shit, I start seeing all kind of people just start, going in. Yeah, he's a fucking racist. He's a racist, no doubt. No doubt. He's a fucking.
And he got killed by his own people. And these fucking white folks, he's sitting up here trying to figure it out how they can make this a black issue.
That's exactly what's going on. And like I said, I'm not gonna front. Like I said, I'm with. I'm at 95%. I'm gonna be playing until the show's over. So I'm at 95% racist right now. 90, 95. I give them I'm at 95, but like this motherfucker, some of the shit he's saying is just evidently obvious that needs to change. But this other shit that I'm hearing, like, what is he talking about? Like, what the fuck is he talking about, man? He's up here, like, just completely dodging reality. Is and it's a simple fact that he's a racist trying to sneak in the office. That's what I'm starting to see. They called him a social influencer. So
yeah, he was an influencer. He was all over the internet.
I swear to God.
I mean, you got to be looking at these weird ass conservative motherfuckers to know some of these people.
Okay, yeah, I only follow, as far as the right wing and something like that, I only follow Trump. I never heard Trump speak about this guy.
Did you hear him speak about it today?
I do have. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that too.
And then put the flag and hand stamp. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I did see something to that degree. Like that's what I was saying. He's merging in racist views with American patriotism, and then he's putting his own sick twist on it. So it's like, he's gonna grab the attention, but at the same time, it's gonna wind up being despicably racist. We're gonna listen to some more of his rhetoric, and we're gonna really get that. What I'm trying to find is why would somebody want to shoot in 200?
That's what the hell I want to know.
And it's
but
a lot of, yeah. So that's
somebody hired some witches to put a curse on his ass 2 days ago.
It's a video.
No, they was talking about it. It's a channel called Secular Talk, and they found the post where it was some witches that was against the right wing and shit. Somebody paid them to put a curse on Charlie Kirk, and 2 days later, this nigga got sniped out. That's it. And then they can't find the person that did it.
We're gonna take a look at that after this, after these few videos, and we're gonna see what you're talking about. See if there's anything.
Can
out
you
there we
give
can talk
me
about
a
with that.
definition of racism?
A discrimination against a minority class of people in order to create an imbalance in the society or a hierarchy based on something that is undetermined as of color, race, the color of your skin, or maybe even color of your skin.
Can you be racist against Asians?
Yes.
Can you be racist against white people?
I believe that you can have prejudice against white people.
If a group of black individuals, which happens unfortunately so often, say, we want to go beat up whitey, and they go beat up a white person, was that a racist thing that they did?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And see, that's what I'm saying. He playing Jedi, man.
I would have to ask for further context, but yes. Yes.
Yeah, fill out.
So this man is saying that he believes in God and he's a Christian.
Oh yeah, he's a Christian nationalist.
But he's in a Mormon city. Utah is all Mormon.
So he goes around to different college campuses and talk to them college kids. And so he happened to go to a college campus in Utah, and that's where he got his ass started.
Is he from Utah?
No.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this crazy.
Because I know Utah has some things that have happened out there. So that's why I thought maybe he lived in Utah. Just like that one in particular, the director's son, he went to Utah University and he killed those 3 people.
Yeah. No, he didn't live in Utah. That was his new form of content. Going to talk to them college kids.
So they don't have the suspect in custody.
No, they had got a dude, and they found out that he wasn't the right dude. And so now they on a manhunt to find out who did it. They ain't gonna find the person.
Man, ain't no telling. Just like they just busted that 13-year-old with all those print guns. That boy was 13 years old and he had over 20 guns.
To your definition, because your definition was that it had to be the exercise of power. I'm going to make your definition better for you because I the exercise of power against a minority group.
Yes.
But in that case, it wouldn't be, because it would be a group of Black individuals versus a white individual.
Right.
So wouldn't a better definition of racism be a human being or institution prejudicing or stereotyping against anybody else because of their race?
Is my mic messing up?
I hear you.
I keep hearing this static. Oh, he found it. Ooh. Two-day turning down. Okay. See, after placing my first spell, make everyone hate him, I was left with more questions than answers. How long would it take to kick in? Should I have splurged on a pricier spell to make it work faster? Shortly after, the witch messaged me trying to upsell me a $50 spell booster. When I asked what it did, she explained it would amplify the energetic support of the main spell, or else I could let it unfold in its natural timing. I decided to trust the witches. You gotta scroll down. I decided to trust the witch's will. What they mean? Is that the end of it? This story was published on September the 8th. Jezebel condemns the shooting of Charlie Kirk in the strongest possible terms. We do not endorse, encourage, or excuse political violence of any kind. Okay. What's your vegetable? I don't remember no vegetable. Oh, you talking about that Viola? Okay. Not Roland Martin.
This little punk. I mean, one of the dumbest people, one of the most lightweight individuals you've ever seen, Charlie Kirk, college dropout, this little punk. I mean, one of the dumbest people, one of the most lightweight individuals you've ever seen, Charlie Kirk, college dropout, leads Turning Point USA. A lot of racists have come through Turning Point USA, so their history is very well. So he's been attacking Dr. King. He goes on the show with Sambo himself, Jason Whitlock, as they trash Dr. King. And then Charlie has been going around talking about how we should not be able to, one of the greatest mistakes in history was the 1964 Civil Rights Act. And so my next guest, Pastor Darrell Scott, he has been on the warpath against this little punk. He's been sitting here blasting him left and right. And he also revealed on social media the other day of a quite interesting story, a very interesting story that was stated in the White House. But before I played that, there's this there's just flat out racist named Nick Fuentes. He was the one who had lunch with Donald Trump and Mar-a-Lago with Kanye West. So Nick Fuentes, I mean, just straight up, he's a racist. He's a racist. So he dropped this video praising Charlie Kirk and saying, "Welcome to the white supremacist club." Watch this.
Charlie Kirk, as we know, has become a white supremacist, and that's a huge victory. But he remains a Jew lover. he remains a Jew lover, and
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. Hey, I promise you, that's exactly what I was saying. This guy's dead on too. Like, I noticed when we were talking about the reparations, he did not deny the Jews for getting their reparations, but he denied black people for like hundreds of years of oppression and discrimination and suffering, raping and pillaging. Charlie Kirk, you a piece of shit, and this racist motherfucker, he knows it. This a white supremacist sees that you a fucking.
Well, Nick Fuentes was on Charlie Kirk's ass before he got killed. Charlie Kirk was avoiding Nick because Nick been on a rampage.
Nah, I gotta tune in because this guy right here, at least he's honest. This, like I said, I'm new to this. This is my first time ever hearing of Charlie Kirk. Never heard of him. This is my first time hearing of this guy right here. Never heard of him. And
you ain't never heard of Nick Fuentes?
No, ma'am.
Oh wow. Nick Fuentes is a racist to his damn soul. But he is also a government conspiracy theorist. And a lot of the shit that he say make a whole lot of sense when it comes to the shady and shit that they're doing. And so he's been going after all these different conservatives. He roasted Candace Owens' ass. He roasted what's his name? That police officer that's always talking shit about black people.
The black dude, the cooning ass motherfucker with slow talking.
Yeah, he went off on him. And he was going after Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk was avoiding him. So yeah, Nick on all their ass.
What's that? Let's hear him out.
No, I don't use language like that, you know. But he is an Israel shill. Like Charlie Kirk has become white nationalist, hardcore, but he remains a shill to the Jews in Israel. And I've said that for a long time. But if Posobiec is coming out swinging on both fronts, it's like, hey, if Turning Point would just stop banning Groypers from their conferences, maybe we could work together. If they would just stop bad-mouthing me and just reintegrate the Groypers into the machine, that would be a win for everybody.
So, Pastor Darrell Scott, if a racist like Nick Fuentes is saying, "Hey, welcome to the club," sounds like all your criticism of Charlie Kirk been on point.
Hey man, first of all, let me say you got one fact wrong.
What's that?
He's not a college dropout. He's a junior college dropout.
Well, junior.
So you made it seem.
Junior colleges no. Junior colleges are colleges, but technically, yes, you're correct. Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, he has a high school diploma.
Well, but
I don't know what his GPA was either.
Well, but it's no different than the person who he hired, Candace Owens, who also dropped out. So, hey, they got something in common. The thing here is this here. You said something the other day, there was a meeting at the White House, and Charlie Kirk told Trump, just go ahead.
No. He didn't tell Trump.
So
we were in the Navy mess room, the cafeteria at the White House with myself, my business partner, Kareem Lanier, and several other people were there. 2 other black people were there and several white people. And we were discussing 2020 outreach to different demographics. And we talked about the evangelicals. We talked about suburban white women. We talked about gun owners. And then when they got to black people, Charlie Kirk said, I think Trump should just tell black people anything. Just lie to them. He can say anything. It don't matter. My business partner reaches up. Can we cuss on this show?
Yeah. It's called.
My business partner said, man, that's the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life. Then I said, Charlie, say something like that again, I'll knock the shit out of you, white boy. And so he turned red and said, well, hey, I'm just saying, don't you never say no stupid shit like that in front of me again. And we checked him real hard, but that showed me right there the content of his heart to even say something like that. Trump should just tell black people anything, lie to them. It don't matter, just say anything. Well, no, Trump wasn't in the room when that happened. Trump was not there.
Well, I mean, it's kind of true. He did do some lying to black people, but
man, every politician lie to everybody.
Yeah, but you know your boy lied a lot more than the whole.
What he lie about? Hey, that ain't the topic. We'll revisit this another day. I want to stay on Charlie Kirk, little punk. Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I don't want this to be Mark.
And I see you don't have much time because you're going to Joe. You're going to Dementia Joe.
I don't want this to be Mark Fisher 2.0. So I'm gonna save you.
You don't want this smoke. You don't want this smoke.
Now you not Dale. Now you know dog.
Come on, you already know.
Doggone well. You know doggone well.
You don't want to smoke, but we ain't gonna go there now.
You know doggone
we can do that another day. Let's not lead the deer to chase the rabbit. We are finally on. This is historic, man.
I'm just saying.
Me and you on the same side. Charlie Kirk, this is a racist piece of shit.
I got you.
Now we on the same side right here. This is historic, man.
I got you, because when I get done with you be a deacon. All right.
This black history. We are making black history right now.
So
Roland Martin and Darrell Scott on the same side of the top.
So here's the question. You've been calling him out, but look, these conservatives, they're not going to stop going to his conferences. They're going to keep embracing him. And so is the Republican, are they going to cut ties with Charlie Kirk because of his rampant racism? And it's very clear.
Let me say this. A number of high-ranking people in the Republican Party are definitely on my side in this conflict. And it's something that they feel is long overdue. Charlie Kirk, what he does, he says what he says unchallenged, and he'll wait a few days and it'll be a little bit of dust up on social media and he'll ignore it and let it go away. But I'm not the one. I'm not like that. That's not me. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this shit. And so as a result, I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. See, here's the thing. This is a money-making opportunity for him. You know and I know that right now in America, there is not a lot of hostile racial tension between blacks and whites. We're not rioting against each other. We're not picking at each other. We're not openly hostile. You know, people have their own personal feelings, but there's not a lot of racial tension. He probably made more of Black Lives Matter protests than Black Lives Matter does. Because when he says, I need to save America, in order to save America, I have to be the hero. For me to be a hero, there has to be a villain. So he hides his racism behind CRT, behind DEI, and he makes the black man be the villain. He's perpetuating this racial divide. He's making all white people look at black people with suspicion. And then Charlie can stop it. Charlie can save it if you give me money. And so it's all part of this hustle. But ain't nobody going for that bull crap.
Reese, you got a question?
I think that was well broke down. And like I said, I've never heard of Charlie Kirk till now. That's why I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. I even wrote a decent article on Charlie Kirk on one of my social media sites. It's in the description. If you pay attention to the description, if you guys read the description, for those who read descriptions. Charlie Kirk, man, now that I'm knowing who this, like hearing some of this guy and knowing, getting familiar, these two brothers got him, jammed up. Got to, definitely know who they're talking about. I had no idea this guy was even around. Like this is despicable. But we're gonna give him his just due.
You want to ask a question?
Yes, Pastor Scott, respectfully, I'm curious with the Republican Party's turn to naked white nationalism, is this speaking out against Charlie Kirk more about self-preservation for your role? Because as far as I understand, you're still on the Trump train for 2024, right? So obviously, if they don't need black people for Trump, if they have the Charlie Kirks and the Candace Owens, who is black, to be fair, and the Nick Fuentes that are gaining increasing power in the Republican Party.
All right, first of all, the Republican Party is not shifting to white nationalism. The majority
No, it's
of
not
the
shifting.
Republican Party.
I said it's embracing naked white nationalism.
No, it's not. You know why? No. What's happening? I think I'm revealing to them some aspects or causing them to think in ways they didn't think before. See, once again, they're masking their racism behind political terms, and so they're making DEI an issue and they're making CRT an issue when it's reality. It's simple racism. Let me say this about the Nick Fuentes. I talked to President Trump about the Nick Fuentes issue. He didn't know that guy. Kanye called him from the car and was coming in to meet. He said, "Hey, can I bring my friend in?" And once he brought his friend in, Trump didn't know who the guy was. They had to tell him, "Man, get this guy out of here. He's a white nationalist." But that's what happened right there. He didn't know it. Kanye did that.
Well, if you let folk first of all, any real high-ranking official has a vetting process, and they wouldn't have allowed either one of them to even walk into the door. So,
and now that I just heard that, and I'm glad these brothers are here to break it down. I always liked it. The guy that was just talking. I've always been a big supporter of him since Trump first started running back in the 2015, 16, around that time. But this goes to show you that Kanye West, when he's spitting all that racial rhetoric and all that kind of stuff, that was where he was getting it from. He was getting it from people like this guy, Charlie Kirk. That's what, like, everything Kanye West was kind of saying, A lot of that sounds like Charlie Kirk now. So now we can understand where the mind of Kanye West, he's been crossed and duped by his people so much, he's running the white supremacists for gain.
Frankly,
this Mar-a-Lago. It's not the White House.
No.
Let me tell you something. I've taken people.
Daryl,
Listen, I've taken
wait a
people
minute.
down
Daryl,
to
wait a minute.
Mar-a-Lago.
Daryl, wait a minute. This is my whole point. It's called a vetting process. I have a vetting process. If I have a vetting process, Trump should have one. And if he will allow anybody just to roll up next to him, not know who they are, that's the person I don't want in the Oval Office. If you
No, because you have to understand, and you and I both are aware of this. That's friend business.
No.
He has a confidence in me. No, I've taken people down there that he didn't know, but his trust in me says you're not going to bring anybody sideways. I took Ray J down there. He didn't know Ray J. But when I got there, I said, I got my friend with me. He said, is he cool with you? Yeah, okay.
And my point is,
so he ought to know that. And you recognize
my point is, if you
people on the streets even know that.
My point is, if you put your trust in Kanye, then I question your common sense.
Well said, Roland. This one might be one of your best shows. Dr. Daryl Scott is one of my favorite guys, man. He didn't really get too much name recognition, but he got a lot of facial recognition and a lot of verbal talk, that was out there. He's definitely on the right page for Black men. I agree with that. He's a Trump supporter. He sees through the bull. And the fact that he's saying everything that I didn't know and can agree with about this guy lets me know that he's on point and on time. I wound up finding more footage that I want to show you. A thread from the racist who's dead, Charlie Kirk. Let's go to this.
End up as a or a criminal.
And
It's
why
not
do
a
you think that's
racism
a
problem.
problem?
It's not a white supremacy. What percentage of blacks have a father around when they're raised?
I'm not sure.
20%.
So that's why you
80% of
think it
blacks do not have a stable father around. It is the most predictable way to end up in prison, end up as a or a criminal.
And why
It's
do
not a
you think that's
racism
a problem?
It's not a white supremacy problem. It's a fact that black fathers impregnate women and they don't stay around with the women
And
that they have
why-
impregnated.
Charlie Kirk, do you think that
Is-
that happens more in the Black community compared to others?
It's threefold. Number one, we subsidize single motherhood. Number two, it's culture. It's accepted in the black community, and it
so
shouldn't
it's
be.
culture. Okay.
Don't take my
I
word
see.
for it. Read Thomas Sowell's own book on how black culture allows single motherhood to continue into a nanny state type practice. 75% of black youth are raised without a father in the home. 75%. Is that a bigger problem or not a bigger problem than whiteness, white privilege, or white supremacy? How
They
can
should
you
all
blame?
be addressed and they're all related.
Okay, how is a white person to blame? Wouldn't it be more like smart to be like, hey, that this is not about systemic racism. Like, stop impregnating your women and abandoning them?
Yeah, that's more that one-sided trash. This guy is definitely a white supremacist. Let's go to Charlie Kirk says black people were better off in slavery and subjugation before the 1940s.
This shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were
less fra-
afraid. I mean, 4,000 Black men, women, and children were killed
Okay, so
in
that's-
violent
that's your-
lynch
okay,
mobs.
That's your explanation. But I guess,
Racial
so, but
terror
Black-
permeated
Black-
American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is
You don't
worse than
think
it has been
that
in the last
affected
80 years.
the generational psyche of an entire group of people?
Well, I'm sure it did. I'm not discounting that. I'm just, it shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were
less fra-
afraid. I mean, 4,000 Black men, women, and children were killed
so
in
that's-
violent
that's-
lynch mobs.
That's your
I remember I was at the country club and one of the members, we was out there, and he goes, man, I wish it was the 30s. I wish it was the 30s, man. Don't you wish you was in the 30s? I said, hell no. So it might be good for you, but not for me. We both laughed about that. You know, good temper.
White boy.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, he deserves to die, and I hope he brings it hell.
Remember?
And I really don't want to hear any moral superiority from the people who were just laughing about undocumented immigrants getting. Yes, he deserves to die, and I hope he burns in hell. And I really don't want to hear any moral superiority from the people who were just laughing about undocumented immigrants getting eaten up by alligators. Okay. That motherfucker had to go. Yes, he deserves to die, and I hope he burns in hell.
These are all public things. Everything's educational purposes. Let's go. This woman is all of us right now.
Liberal, progressive, deranged fucking animals. Ooh, mother fucking mother fucking animals.
What the hell?
Liberal, progressive, deranged fucking animals. You are so hateful in your hearts to go out and shoot a young man who's never hurted anyone with Christian values, a young, beautiful family, a father, a husband, a friend, a son. You shot him. Why? Because you didn't agree with his politics? Because you didn't agree with his ideology? That's the reason why he deserves to die? You fucking animals! You mother fucking animals! You liberal, aggressive, deranged fucking animals!
That's some Christian values right there, boy.
Hateful in your hearts.
Yeah, that's
to go out and
some heavy hate, man. Some heavy hate there.
That's how they behave, and they think that shit, yo, we're Christian. Bitch, no, you not. You a fucking rapist.
That's what I was saying. You know, people use Christianity to torture and maim other people. It's crazy.
That's a whole genre of white supremacy. They call it Christian nationalism. When you look at shit like Project 2025, them the motherfuckers that's behind that shit.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand. Yeah, he had to go. I definitely understand why people feel like that. Yeah, this guy's crazy. Let's
it's
go.
Not just him sitting around. That's a whole fucking genre of motherfuckers.
Yeah, and I'm glad you breaking this down to me because I had no idea like the name of these people or nothing like that. And I'm glad you let me know. That's called Christian. You said it's called Christianity.
Christian nationalism. It's white supremacy, but they call it Christian nationalism. We're bringing Christian values and all of these shit. A lot of these shit that Trump is doing is a part of their fucking agenda. I be trying to tell people, y'all better wake the fuck up, but no, it's too many people that love Trump. Trump don't mean us no fucking good.
Well, let's stick to Charlie Kirk. Let's stick to Charlie Kirk because Trump
put the flag and hands down for this man, but it was a white man that killed 3 black people a couple of days ago, and why they ain't lower the flag for them?
Good question. Good question.
All right.
Let's go to some more Charlie Kirk.
Senator Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us.
Yeah, I can't stand Joy Reid.
They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
Still a white person slot.
I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say it. We know it's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive. They think we're like, oh, of course. That's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance. Of course. Oh no, imagine the world without Joy Reid. Imagine the world without Sheila Jackson Lee or Michelle Obama or Ketanji Brown Jackson. They think this is persuasive. They think as they kind of now reveal that I'm only here because of anti-white, anti-Asian forced discrimination policies. That turned me into a bitter, resentful activist that hates white people, honestly, through our politics.
Now, he dropped out of college. And this is how he speaks about well-accomplished black women.
Exactly. I think he's jealous of black women to a degree. It's something going on because a lot of his comments had something to do with it. Don't get it twisted. I did agree that when you look at the job base and everything like that, you do see black women getting hired more because they're it's a lot that goes with it. I don't think it's just because they black women. I believe
it's because they're educated.
They got maybe like lesser bad things on their record. I think they might have,
It's because they're educated.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
and they're qualified.
They're more polished.
Exactly. Men not going to school like that. And black women is going to go get this education, so they got them jobs, but they don't got them no more. Trump done took all of these people is attacking black women.
That's another subject.
I
want to know more about that your opinion on that.
336,000 black women lost their jobs, and 375,000 white men gained jobs.
Where's the ratio in that? Where'd you get that ideology?
Just put it in Google. It'll come up.
Wow, that's deep.
Trump tried to fire the black female governor of the Fed.
Yep.
I remember he laid off a bunch of government workers.
No, Trump don't have power to fuck with the Fed.
I know what I'm saying. I remember I'm not government workers. I mean, people that was working at Navy Federal, all them jobs and stuff.
Yes, but she's the only black person that sits on the board of governors for the Fed, and he didn't fire nobody else but her or try to.
Let's go to some more Charlie Kirk.
And don't run with it, bro. It's just mental health shit. Now you gave motherfuckers the ultimate reason to pop off because you took out the ultimate right there, but you literally have idiots, demented fucking demon ass bitches out here supporting the shit, dog. So y'all die on that sword, bro. Y'all keep barking that shit. Y'all keep talking that shit. Y'all are giving
Charlie Kirk situation. all in summed up. This guy was a speaker who used his platform to degrade, demean, and disrespect others. Salute to the chat. Stop to everybody tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe button, add button, follow button. Congratulations, Terrence Crawford, on his win. But we gotta look at this Charlie Kirk dude for what it is. This is another individual who's played the system. This is another individual who had no sympathy for others. He made racial statements towards blacks, trans, Latinos, Asians. He was really jealous of Asians. I mean, he was really jealous of Asians. Let's go to Law and Crime Network. Let's get into 5 wild Charlie Kirk assassination conspiracy theories.
And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable.
After an over 30-hour manhunt, authorities say they've got the man who shot and killed political activist Charlie Kirk on the campus of Utah Valley University. Because as the frantic search was ramping up, there has been a lot of chatter and misinformation and theories surrounding Charlie Kirk's death. We're taking some time to discuss some of these theories that have been spreading quite quickly online and in the media, as well as brand new information on the suspect. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Federal and state authorities in Utah say they have arrested the gunman, the man who allegedly took the life of political activist and media personality Charlie Kirk, identifying him during a news conference this morning as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, who actually, by the way, lived hours away from Utah Valley University. But authorities say he is the man. They say he is the one who brought a bolt-action rifle to the top of a campus building and fired one shot at Kirk, who, by the way, was speaking in this debate-style event in front of thousands of people. That bullet, and I'm sure you've seen the videos, that bullet hit Kirk in the neck. He was rushed to a hospital, but the married father of 2 young children was pronounced dead at just 31 years old.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Robinson, he was taken into custody around 10 p.m. He was booked into jail. According to FBI Director Kash Patel, after surveillance images and video of this suspect was released to the public, they received thousands of leads. While he said that they're going to follow up on all those leads, even though there's an arrest, there are still so many theories about what happened here. And you wonder, is it really going to quiet that conversation? We're talking misunderstandings. We're talking misinformation. We're talking up conspiracy theories, general theories. That is what we want to get into right now, because even with someone in custody, a lot of these theories, I wonder, will they continue to circulate? You know that there's going to be people who say, oh, this is just the fall guy. There's something bigger here. Maybe there's other people involved. Now, you know, we've been on top of the story from the very beginning, and we are able to do that because of the incredible support that we get from our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. This is America's largest injury law firm. This is a firm with over 1,000 attorneys. You know why they're so big? Because they win a lot. They have recovered over $25 billion for more than 500,000 clients. Think about that. In the past few months, a client in Florida received $12 million after the insurance company offered just $350,000. Out in Pennsylvania, a client was awarded $26 million. That is 40 times the insurer's $650,000 offer. You have another client in Pennsylvania who received $29 million after being offered only $500,000. And even if you think your case isn't worth millions of dollars, why not just start a claim and fight for what you deserve? Morgan & Morgan, they make it so simple. You can start a claim from your phone in just 8 clicks. So if you're injured, you can easily start a claim at forthepeople.com/LC sidebar by clicking the link below or scanning the QR code on screen. So I want to start with the shooting itself. This is a big one. You probably saw this too. The white hat guy, right? Let's take a look.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Now, you see him standing behind Charlie Kirk. So it appears that he touches his hat, then his ear, and then it's followed by a guy right next to him in black who puts his arm out and touches it. Now, that appears to be one of Charlie Kirk's security members. And then right there, right then, that is when Charlie Kirk is shot. So the theory is, were they signaling the shooter? That is a conversation that has been happening online. I mean, look, it is strange and it is weird that out of all topics and out of all times for Kirk to be shot, he's talking about gun violence, talking about transgender people being shooters, and the last word he says before he's shot, the word is violence. It's creepy. It's chilling. It's strange. Now, I will say it appears when you look at another video, another angle, those two individuals, when the shot is fired, they look legitimately shocked. I think there's an argument there. They seem to be surprised by the gunfire. And the argument is, right, they're actually in the line of fire too. Now, it does bring up something else. It brings up the issue about whether or not multiple people could in fact be involved. We heard what President Donald Trump said on Wednesday.
My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country.
I actually asked former CIA and FBI agent Tracy Walder about this before the arrest of Robinson. Take a look. Do you think this is a situation where it was one person acting alone, or do you think it was coordinated and there was some help? I mean, we don't know at this point. I've seen a lot of people talking online about what may or may not have happened. From your perspective, we talked about how it might have been planned. Would you suspect that there could be multiple people involved?
So I think so, but not in the sense that you may think, Jesse.
Okay.
So what I actually think is there are these, well, they're from Telegram subchannels, those kinds of things on social media where individuals talk about this kind of thing and talk about this kind of violence. So I 100% think that there were individuals in this chat room assisting this person, goading this person on, wanting them to do it, because that absolutely exists in this internet subculture. So that's where I think these accomplices came from, and that's what ultimately needs to be shut down.
Got to talk about something else with the shooting too. So there are certain angles of the shot where there is a belief that Charlie Kirk was shot in the chest, but the bullet ricocheted off of what people believe was him wearing a bulletproof vest, and then it struck him in the neck. Now, according to the BBC, neither the FBI nor Turning Point USA, which Kirk co-founded, neither confirmed whether he was wearing a vest that day. It is interesting, though, because the Daily Mail spoke with Chris Herzog, who is apparently the owner of the Bodyguard Group of Beverly Hills, a private security firm. Herzog claims he spoke with Charlie Kirk during a rally at California State University several months before and warned him that he would be killed at one of these rallies or events unless he took the proper precautions. Now, Herzog's colleague, Mark Wilson, also claims that he spoke with Kirk, telling the Daily Mail, we're huge Turning Point fans, being conservatives, and we discussed the lack of security because he's up close with these nutcase kids and doesn't appear that he even wears a bulletproof vest. It's super sad what has happened. However, based on the reporting, based on the analysis, it does seem, by most indications, that he was shot directly in the neck. Actually, again, here's what Tracy Walder had to say about that.
I think we want to think that this is some kind of a trained assassin. You know, maybe we see that in movies and that's something that we want to see. But the reality is a 200-yard shot, which is about what this is. Again, I don't have the exact data, but a 200-yard shot I believe he was probably aiming for the head, came in a little bit low, but again, I don't know for sure. This is someone who is familiar, obviously, with weapons. There's no question. I don't think if you've never held a weapon before, you would be able to do that. But this is someone that probably had a scope attached, had been sitting there for a few minutes, got the target in their sights and got off that shot. So I think it's someone who is moderately to highly familiar with weapons, but not some kind of a trained assassin. Now, if you were talking about 600 yards or more, sure. But I don't feel that that's far enough for this to be some kind of a sharpshooter.
Okay, now I want to move on to this next theory. There is obviously a lot of political high tensions brewing with narratives being pushed that this was a left-wing extremist. I mean, right-wing influencer Mike Cernovich posted on social media that the shooter, quote, was an ideological foot soldier of far left-wing billionaires.
My first assessment after the shooting was noticing those guys behind, standing behind them. Let's see. You know, when you look at the footage and things of that nature, you can clearly see these guys doing signals. You know, ready, aim, fire. I've stated that he's also you know, could have been a scripted suicide. Let's go down. Let's see. You know, it's not an opinion you can put on this guy. It's a lot of bullshit going on. Jay Green.
Whoa.
Salute, brother.
Salute.
Yeah, man, they trying to make a mockery out of this situation.
What's that?
With this Charlie Kirk.
Man, it might well go it on.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm trying to figure out who the fuck the dude was a social influencer. I'm trying to figure out why he getting all this government treatment.
Because he was friends with Donald Trump.
You know, man, like I said, I voted for Trump, but I can vote for this dude, man.
I mean, it's a lot of us who voted for Trump that didn't vote for the rest that came along with it, you know?
Yeah, I'm starting to see that. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, this shit right here is beyond me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when we think about, you know, real influencers and things of that nature, these people really got out there, marched, walked, you know, hundreds of miles, man. You understand what I'm saying? You know, even the presidents back then put in a whole lot more work than what these motherfuckers doing now. This shit just, you know, they trying to take a cheap way out to make this dude a martyr, and they using this shit as a prime as a prime way to do it. I personally think it was a self-scripted suicide.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think it was a self-scripted suicide. I think he was in on it. He knew it was gonna happen. They told him we're gonna hit you in the chest. That's why I wear the vest. And that motherfucker tipped up and knocked him in the neck or so. You know, I'm just not convinced that this dude is the best thing that we had to hear. Real talk.
I don't think he was supposed to die.
Right. But you're not surprised.
I ain't surprised.
Right. Right. I go, yeah, I'm like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not necessarily, you know, I'm not necessarily going with the fact that it happened, but at the same time, it's a lot of racist hate and it had to get dealt with. You know, I'm definitely not gonna you know, say I would have did this or I would have did anything of that nature. Because of someone speaking their racial opinion to children and things of that nature. But I definitely understand someone taking the action to do something about it, because that poisoning the minds of the youngsters is beyond. It's like clearly you can see how easily influenced these people are right now just on social media alone.
Yeah.
By all this fake tears, fake love, all this old shit, man. They don't even know this motherfucker. And then if they did know about the bitch, they'll know this motherfucker's a racist. I mean, this shit is clear. I mean, it don't take all year long when all the shit is in documentation, recorded and everything. So it's like you ain't gotta think too much. I mean, for motherfucker saying the same shit everywhere he go, he ain't changing the story. It ain't like, you know, he goes and talks about different topics. It's damn near the same topic with this motherfucker every college joint he go to, it's the same shit.
Because college students are still in an influenceable state. Like most of the time, you'll find kids who are racist early, but a lot of them don't become racist until after college. Something happens on them jobs where they'll say, hey, you know, we were supposed to give that to Derek, but we had to give it to you, buddy, because you're a good white Christian. See, what a lot of Christians don't understand, what they don't get. Good white Christians.
Right.
When I try to tell people about Christianity, like everything about Christianity is against black people. But the black people gonna say, oh no, God work in mysterious ways, or God do this or God do that. But God said, the Bible says either you gonna honor me as your God or you going to hell. And by honoring me as your God, you're gonna take everything that happened and just know that God is working in a mysterious way. But that shit don't work. That shit don't work for me because you telling me that the whole while I'm here, I just got to deal with whatever the fuck going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, things. Yeah. People change through different situations, you know.
Yeah.
That's just how it go. People definitely change through different situations, man. Um, I'm trying to figure out where all this white fatigue, man. You know what I'm saying? The things of that nature, things get paired up even to a quarter percent, because it's still one sided now. But when things get paired up, even to a percentage, motherfuckers complaining, doing saying all this whole ass shit, doing all this old weird shit, man. There is no reason for anybody black to be feeling so emotionally attached to this piece of shit. I'm seeing motherfuckers crying, doing all this old bullshit, man. I'm talking about like going out there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, it's rage bait.
Rage bait.
They had to do something to piss everybody off. Something to piss the vast majority off.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had to do it. Yeah, they had to do it. Like I said, he knew he could never be president. He knew he wasn't gonna get that far because he already crossed over too much. Like I said, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if this was a script. This was all scripted. Mm-hmm.
I think everything is scripted.
Mm. I can believe that.
I'm talking about all the way to Trump getting back in. Even though, like you said, I voted for him,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think if I didn't, what my one vote would have did. You feel me?
Right. Yeah, man, it get real cryptic, man. You know, man, I really feel like for them to be pushing this type of, you know, brainwashing, you know, hate shit. I definitely think this was a plot and ploy because I never seen nobody get this much publicity, you know, under these type of circumstances. And the fact that these people want us to overlook this, these derogatory, hateful actions and words, you know, is ridiculous. You did. Yeah, it's a whole lot of that dumb shit, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get recognized. Oh, these motherfuckers being very disrespectful on these shows. I'm about to check this bitch one time. JT, hold on 1 second, please.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ass nigga, monkey ass fucking nigga, you a fucking bitch.
Hey, man. Hold on, man.
Say, yeah, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, bro. I'm not finna argue with you. Show me this shit. I'm with the show me shit. I'm not finna argue with you, bro. We not finna do that. And I keep saying this shit. I don't do that shit on here, bro. Y'all do that shit over there, bro. I don't do this motherfucking bullshit, my nigga. I don't, bro. I'm really with the shit, bro. For real, I am, bro. Yeah, for real. I'm not one of these bitch ass niggas around here, bro. Go play with the other niggas, bro. Man, hey, man, let it be weak then, nigga. And just like you were looking weak with that bitch ass mask on your face, nigga. All you gotta do is answer the question. Them niggas talking about you, nigga. Your bitch ass on. All you niggas do is talk and bump. Please, when y'all come to Houston, I put it on my mama's soul, nigga, and I go live. And I'm gonna show you this blood shit, nigga. You fucking with the right nigga. You bitch ass niggas don't do nothing but talk. I swear to God, and I put that on my soul. And that for every one of you niggas that I see.
Dick eating bitch, nigga. Motherfucking son and fried his motherfucking brain. All right, here we go. Back to Charlie Kirk.
There was a preliminary and unverified report that the rifle found in a nearby wooded area, right by the crime scene, had been engraved with statements that, quote, expressed transgender and anti-fascist ideologies. In fact, here's what officials, though, had to say about those apparent engravings during Friday's news conference.
The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "A fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
And by the way, during that news conference, it was also suggested that this suspect, Mr. Robinson, had said recently that Charlie Kirk was coming to Utah Valley University, that he didn't like him, that he didn't like the viewpoints that he had. This is something Robinson allegedly expressed. And he had told a family member that Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. Now, it went both ways when you look online. There were also those, even before Robinson was arrested, who actually thought that the shooter could be a far right-wing extremist. So you saw these kinds of theories on both sides. The bottom line is we don't know yet the exact motive. However, killing a very political figure like Charlie Kirk at this speaking event, right as he's talking about these topics, it's something you got to be thinking about. Now, Kirk, as many of you might know, he was quite opinionated when it came to gun violence and the transgender community and held polarizing views. So is this something that may or may not have played a role here? We shall see as it develops. And now I have to talk about another theory, okay? Another theory that has been circulating is that a foreign nation may have been involved in Kirk's death. Again, this had been circulating before Robinson's arrest, but you do have to wonder whether or not people will believe that that is still true, despite the arrest. So Sean Hannity said on his Fox News show, quote, "I have a source in the intelligence community, John, that said that there might be post-assassination pieces of a puzzle, that there might be a foreign component to it." And his guest, investigative journalist John Solomon, responded, "Yes, there is a group or two of interest in the Salt Lake City area they're looking at just because of certain recent activities overseas and certain intelligence shared by a foreign friendly from the United States. We don't really know what that means and why is this significant. To be clear, I'm not saying this in any way is true, but there seems to be growing chatter of foreign involvement. Particularly, you are seeing this theory that of all countries, Israel was involved. We are seeing this idea really percolating on X. But I will tell you, in my opinion, this doesn't seem to make sense at all. I'll explain why. But first, why are users seemingly suggesting this? There is also a user on X who makes the claim that since President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu apparently posted about Charlie Kirk being shot, they allegedly posted it at the same time of 3:02 p.m., that this must mean it's coordinated. And then there are older clips of Charlie Kirk that have started to surface online. Like there is one of Kirk, apparently recently on Megyn Kelly's program, where he says, quote, "I have less ability sometimes online to criticize the Israeli government about backlash than actual Israelis do. And that's really, really weird." There's another clip where Kirk was on Ben Shapiro's show, who, by the way, is Jewish, a staunch supporter of Israel.
Charlie, we've pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border. So like, maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years.
Obviously, this is in regards to Israel's war in Gaza against Hamas and the purported significant loss of Palestinian lives. But Kirk also had gone on Patrick Bet-David's podcast and spoke about the context of the October 7th attack on Israel that started this whole conflict, saying, how could this happen in a fortified country like this? Quote, I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun. That's an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is so surveilled. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu is basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu. That's all gone. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go as far as to say Netanyahu knew there was intelligence, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand-down order? Was there a stand-down order? 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews. Did somebody in the government say stand down? Now, here's the problem with this theory, in my opinion. Charlie Kirk, and this is well documented, went on record publicly, was a devout supporter of Israel and the Jewish people. And it is well documented, particularly in his debates that he had in public forums. You know, Fox News, they dedicated a whole segment to it. And in it, they played different clips of Charlie Kirk. In one, he talked about how Israel changed his life and that he was celebrated as a Christian over there. He said the nation of Israel actually has a place in God's plan for us on this planet. He said there is something special about Israel and said, I think we have a moral commitment to that land. And then while debating someone about the actions of Israel, right, in their war against Hamas, you had this person who criticized the Israeli government, called it evil. Charlie Kirk fought back, saying, it's also a moral truth that the war started because 1,300 Jews were killed and 200 were taken hostage. And when you declare war on Israel, expect a firestorm in reaction. Israel, at its holiest day of the calendar year, besides Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, Samek Torah, the 50-year anniversary of the six-day war on Shabbat, Hamas invaded Israel, decided to go recklessly to music concerts, homes, to kibbutzes, and taking 200-plus hostages. They knew what they were doing. When the IDF does something right, they get no credit. When they do life-saving surgeries of a Gazan child, they get no credit. The only operation and entity to blame is Hamas. So when you hear that, it does become hard to digest the idea that he was killed by Israel if he was such a supporter who was advocating what the government was doing and America's support of Israel and advocating this all over to young people. Now, by the way, Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, he was actually asked about this theory on Newsmax by host Greta Van Susteren. She said, before I let you go, I want you to address one thing, and it's just the absurdity of it. Some of the internet rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder. And, you know, I don't believe you for 1 second, but I want you to, you know, make a statement. It's so absurd. He responds, that's insane. That's insane. Israel also changes the orbit of the moon. Israel pushes the sun. I mean, the whole thing is not only insane, I think it's so absurd, so stupid, and so ridiculous. I can't believe that people are saying that. They just found the perpetrator. They'll get to the bottom of this. But you know, they have no limits. When you hate Jews, when you hate the Jewish state, you're willing to say anything and promote all these absurd rumors. Now, Netanyahu separately called Charlie Kirk, quote, an extraordinary friend, once-in-a-generation figure, said, quote, he was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued our bond, the bond between America and Israel. Oh, by the way, there's also this one too. This was, by the way, really reported by the New Republic, popped up on X a lot. The theory, the conspiracy theory, that President Trump was behind what happened to Charlie Kirk. Have you heard this one? The idea being that this was a way to distract from the Epstein file saga and the backlash that his administration has received, including the criticism that there was a cover-up, right? We've covered the Epstein case, the Epstein saga a lot here on Sidebar, by the way. But I mean, just look at this post from Morgan J. Freeman, an apparent filmmaker who has over 470,000 followers on X. He said, how do we know Trump didn't order Kirk's assassination as a distraction from Epstein and a tactic to start the civil unrest he needs to declare martial law and delay the 2026 midterms? That post received more than 2.4 million views and 60,000 likes. And that makes me think about something else. I want to highlight something as we talk about theories and particularly social media. As you know, a theory can spread like wildfire online. You know, it was reported on X. People were throwing out specific names or identities of the potential shooter before the arrest of Robinson. Reuters reported that there was at least one video posted after the Kirk shooting, falsely identifying a man who was 700 miles away as being the suspect. That was actually an arrest video from June, all the way out in California, apparently. There was another of a video of a man running away, suggesting that was Kirk's shooter, but that was from a shooting in Reno, Nevada back in July. The New York Times. Reported that there were those online who attributed the shooting.
Hey, I don't know why I'm seeing that faggot ass shit on my damn timeline. If you over there on some bearded conversation, whole shit, get the fuck off my timeline with that bullshit. For real, for real. I don't even understand why the fuck you even play with somebody who will hold you backstage and let a whole nigga like that talking all this old shit. Man, get the fuck on, man. Stop playing with me. Get that bullshit off my motherfucking channel.
To a transgender woman. One I have to highlight in particular, and this was focused upon by the New York Times as well. Do you remember when police initially detained an older man at the event, like immediately? The immediate reaction was this was the shooter, because there were reports that he had actually said that he did the shooting. Turns out, that was the allegation. Turns out, according to reporting from the Salt Lake Tribune, that was 71-year-old George Zinn, who law enforcement indicated they took into custody on suspicion of obstruction of justice. He was released, ruled out as being the suspect, ruled out as being the shooter. However, what happened? According to the New York Times, users on X, they started falsely identifying him as 77-year-old Canadian man Michael Mallinson, who arguably resembled that man that was detained. He was all the way out in Toronto at the time of the shooting, told the Times that he was really upset because social media started flooding with his old pro-democratic social media posts. He apparently was being called a far-left extremist, pure evil. One post targeting him had over 3 million views, apparently. Now, he actually explained that he gets this call from his daughter telling him that his photos were circulating online, falsely attributing him as the shooter. He said in an interview, "I'm just shocked by it, how quickly it can happen, how one's name and photo can get spread around quite quickly." And the Times reported that the speculation may have started through an account called Fox 11 Reno that is actually not a real broadcast affiliate in Nevada. It's rather a fictitious account. By the way, remember I talked about other countries? Utah Governor Spencer Cox said one of the things that is amplifying misinformation are foreign bots from China and Russia, saying our team, the state team, and I'm sure the federal team as well, we are seeing our adversaries want violence. China, we have bots from Russia, China, all over the world that are trying to instill disinformation and encourage violence. There you have it. Some of the theories that we've seen so far. We will continue our coverage of the Charlie Kirk killing. That's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. You can follow me on X or Instagram. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll see you next time.
All right, Tyler Robinson, what we know so far, sounds like a passion crime. Sounds like Tyler Robinson was in the heat of passion with his trans lover transitioning over, and he was being harassed, bullied by social media, games, and politics, and he fell in the trick bag. Can't really explain it, but we got to look at the logistics of this. Point A to point B. They're forcing you to believe this guy is some, like I said, people of real stature and things like that. Everybody would know you. Martin Luther King passed, everybody knew him. Malcolm X, everybody knew him. JFK, everybody knew him. John Lennon, everybody knew him. Even the George Floyd situation, everybody knew about it. And they're making this guy the white version of the George Floyd deal. It appears. It highly appears. Now, in this instance, we all have witnessed or heard about the situation. But that's all it was, a situation that needed to change. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.